got a video for you guys. Uh, there's one video on how to do this. It's a dude called Mecánico Sanchez. Uh, you can look up his channel and see the video. Uh, anyways, here's what's up. RX330 2004 all-wheel drive 3.3 liter, yada yada. Okay, here's where we're at. So similar to Mecánico Sanchez, Mechanic Sanchez, for all those who are wondering what the fuck I'm saying. I had a leak coming from this front differential cover for the transfer case, and it would seem to have been the silicone, the gasket maker, whatever, because there's no gasket for this really. You have to put gasket maker or some sort of silicone RTV, yada yada. Anyways, so in his video he has a leak coming from over here, but in my case it was coming from somewhere over here. So I had to take this thing out anyways. And in my case, I get a small this gets wet right here, this bolt for the transmission. Let me point it, this one, and it would make it seem like it was leaking between the transmission and the engine, but it really wasn't. This was getting wet, and it would make it seem like this is the problem. But if you take this off, these two bolts, this little cover comes off, and you can see inside the where the flywheel and the torque converter and all that is. And in my case, you can see it's not wet. And anyways, so I cleaned the cover and all that, and I made sure it wasn't really coming from over there. So it ended up being the transfer case that was leaking, but since it was transmission fluid and not differential fluid, well, you know, it made me assume that it was coming from the transmission, from the retainer seal between the engine and transmission. But really it was coming from the diff, from the fucking diff, from the transfer case. So what was happening is it was actually coming off the breather here, and the seal from the gasket was perfect. So what was happening is okay, so this is the side that mates to the transmission. There's a seal on the transmission that seals this so that the transmission fluid doesn't go into the transfer case and keep the differential oil and the transmission fluid from mixing. That's what's going on here. So you have this little hole with this gasket here, which is also has RTV from the factory. So yeah, so you have that, and so transmission fluid is being injected through this hole, through this little railing here, and through here, and it ends up going out of this hole here. So out of that hole it ends up going through here, and through here it goes inside of this a right hand axle assembly, and that transmission oil is to lubricate this bearing here. So you have this retainer seal here, which I'll show you. You have this retainer seal in here. It's a double retainer seal. There's like 2 retainers mashed in one here. So this is preventing the transmission fluid from mixing with the differential fluid over here. And in my case, this was pretty torn up. Like, it wasn't too bad, but you could see there was a bunch of metal debris between the 2 gaskets there. There's a lot of metal debris and over here too. So I knew that was the culprit, and I knew that I knew that it wasn't that the guy that sold me this this SUV put transmission fluid inside the diff. It's just that it was mixing the differential fluid and the transmission fluid. So anyways, you can see his video on how to take this thing off. It's not all that complicated, but some of the bolts are pretty pesky to take off. You need to make sure you have the correct tools for the job, which isn't anything too crazy, you know. Honestly, don't need any expensive tools to do the job. So anyways, back to this. This washer goes right here, and then you have this this sleeve that is for the bearing for the transfer case here. So this goes pressed onto this, and you have to take this off to get to that. I mean to get to the retainer here. So what we did is we put this in a vise, and we put it like this, and we put a punch or a flathead, and we hit the seal inside from the inside, and that knocked that was pretty much hitting the washer and pushing the sleeve out. So that pushed the sleeve out. So what caused all this is that this race here has wear, and pretty much that is the culprit, maybe. That, or when I got this thing, it was pretty badly aligned. You know, the wheels were all crooked, and you know, all these all-wheel drive vehicles, you know, you really got to make sure you have the tire threads pretty much matching tires. You know, fucking anything will throw this thing off. So just it having the tires freaking misaligned probably caused some wear or tension on the axles to the point where it mashed these up a bit. So I'm just gonna make sure I replace pretty much everything since I'm here. So there's a O-ring that goes here around to this one. There's a part number for mine. You need to make sure you get the correct one for your transmission code. I'm pretty sure this is the same for both the all-wheel drive transmissions. or I think there's 2 or 3 of them. Pretty sure this is the same for all of those. I'm not 100% sure. Probably not. So just make sure you get the correct transmission code for yours. In my case, this is the 51 something FE, whatever, it ends with an E, not the F or the other one. Can't remember right now. I could put it on the comments or the freaking description. And I could put all the part numbers for the crush washers and the retainers. I actually think I threw away the plastic with the code for this one. I'll put it in the description. Then you would need to replace this little O-ring here. This gasket, the retainer here. There's the retainer on the transmission right there. You want to replace that one. What I did to avoid replacing this one is that I just took it out and I flipped it over. So yeah, that's what I did for this one. As far as the bearing on the diff here, it wasn't making any noise or anything. I might replace the sleeve. I'm not sure if they sell just the sleeve or if I have to buy the fucking whole bearing. But yeah, I'm probably not going to replace that bearing there. I'm not sure. I probably should. So yeah, that's what I got for now. So if you see that you're leaking transmission fluid from your transfer case, this is the issue. And you could replace that bearing inside there if you want also, but in my case, like I said, it wasn't making any noise or anything. And this is where the CV shaft passenger side will go. That's how it sounds. There's really no a little bit of play maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll replace it too. I don't really have it, so we'll see.